But that ain't my story. I won't say sorry. No, you're destined for something higher. When it's all over, what you got to show for? Proving the devil is a liar. Rain against the window.
Forgot to add myself. Oh my gosh. What's good, people? Welcome to MGTV. It's your boy Rhino. We are live and alive. This is Let's Talk the Real. Waiting for a few more people to join. I'm not sure if Leon is busy. Leon should be joining. My boy Firm should be joining. Girl like KEEDZ should be joining as well. But yeah, man, let's do a quick warm up, man. I haven't done this Sunday show for a minute, man. I hope everyone's good. Big up George in the chat. He says, big up Rhino, fire emojis. Love that, man. Yeah, man. So I know a lot of you guys are used to the football podcasts, but this Sunday is red pill, blue pill content where we're going to be talking about red pill, blue pill. If you don't know what red pill, blue pill content is, it's more like men and women. So I'm assuming, I could be wrong, the red pill is the female and the blue pill is the man, the men, I guess, you know. And obviously we talk about relationships, we talk about like different things. Like it could be, you know, who's got more. Like today we're talking about pride versus emotion, isn't it? So my thing is, men have the pride and females have the emotion. So I'm asking, are females too emotional? Do men have too much pride? You know, then we can kind of take that, you know, debate and then add different like contexts to it. So you could talk about businesses, you could talk about relationships. So more time we're talking about relationships, you know, we're talking about are all men cheaters. We're talking about, you know, are females just as bad as men in terms of, you know, certain things as well, and vice versa, you know. So make sure you lot are locked in. Make sure you smash the likes. Big up Mustafa. He says, Rhino, fire emoji. He's got the Man United badge. So that's my guy. You feel me? Smash the likes. Honestly, smash the likes, man. There's 8 of you watching on Twitter, and I think 2 of you on YouTube. So let's bump up the likes, man. Those of you that are watching from Twitter, can you come over to the Rhino MGTV? Sorry, I'm losing my words. Those of you on Twitter, come over to Rhino MGTV and like the video on YouTube, please, so that we get the algorithm running. Big up my guy Staffy. I was meant to be on his show earlier. Busy doing stuff with my little ones and the family. So yeah, big up Staffy, man. My brother, man. Real guy, man. If he's available, Staffy, you know, feel free to join the show. But I know Staffy's got a crazy schedule anyway. But yeah, listen, those of you on Twitter, please head over to Rhino MGTV on YouTube. Literally just type it. If you're on your computer, open another tab, type Rhino MGTV on YouTube. Find this this live show right now and like the video, man. But what do you guys think? You guys that are here so far, and obviously if you come over to YouTube as well, you can leave your comments. I don't think you can leave comments on Twitter, or X, should I call it. So yeah, big up yourselves, man. If you want to comment and join this conversation, head over to Rhino MGTV YouTube and feel free. But yeah, man. I'll do a little kind of build up before we get the rest of the panel in. I wanted to make sure that I go live, even if I go live by myself and no one else joins. I don't mind. You know, I want to do a lot more shows by myself if I need to. Anyway, you feel me? So you guys can get to know a bit more about me, and just connect. We can connect. Because at the end of the day, you guys are my people, so I appreciate you guys a lot. But yeah, my thing is, I think the downfall from a guy, or men should I say, is pride, and then females is emotion. Obviously, if you have a good balance between the two, not to say men can't be emotional, females can't be prideful, but I feel like if obviously scientifically men just generally have more pride and females are more emotional. So it's like I want to ask the question, like, do men have too much pride, or are women too emotional? And I know a lot of you guys are gonna be like, oh, it's subjective to the individual, but generally, like, big up my guy Dan as well. I've had Dan on a few shows. He's always said, look, there's certain things that are scientifically proven, which he's right, and obviously some things are subjective to the individual depending on where you live, what country you're from, what culture is around you as well, like big up Alyssa that used to be on this channel. She was based in like New York sides, and she's seen certain things from them sides, you feel me? And then same thing, like from where I'm from in South London, there's certain things that I'm going to be privy to that, for example, Leon, who's from more up north, might not be privy to, you know what I mean? Depends on what area you're growing up in, and also depends on the people around you feel me? Big up your goal. He says, yo, big up, man. You lot smash the likes, man. Most of you are on Twitter right now, so head over to Rhino MGTV and smash the likes, man. Smash the likes. Where's the panel at, man? But like I said, we'll keep it rolling. Big up DLM for the quick overlay as well. That's my guy. Leon, yeah, waiting on Leon. I'm not sure if Traps is available. Sometimes he's on Big Six Bants as well. But yeah, man, and carry on what I'm saying. So, yeah, I feel like as a guy, when you grow up, you grow up through primary school. Obviously, if you're in the UK, you grow up through primary school, through to finish year 6. You go over to secondary school, year 7. And then that's when you start to kind of learn yourself, That's when you start to kind of pick up your influences. I feel like secondary school, so that's from 10, 11 upwards, 11 years upwards, 11 to 16. That's when you start to kind of pick up your traits. You start to kind of figure out what path you want to go through. You feel me? And I also feel like when you leave secondary school, so when you do the whole 11 years to 16, and you finish secondary school, you leave at year 11 and you're moving over to college, that's when you start to kind of see what direction you're going in. You feel me? So when you leave secondary school and you're going on to first year college, second year college, you realize that a lot of your friends that were your peoples from when you were younger, you start to kind of start to separate. Like you might be going to college in London doing like drama or something, and then your other brethren's going to college and he's doing a next thing. Do you get what I'm saying? And then that alone can you can drift apart from each other. But then on top of that, when it comes to you might be in a relationship, you might get a gal now, and then boom, you might, you know what I mean, you might start focusing on building a life with your girlfriend or whatever. Other man, they grow up together, they still keep in contact, they still link here and there. But if one of you is doing studying in North London and the other guy's doing studying in South London, you're naturally gonna drift apart. Do you know what I'm saying? So unless you maintain contact like that, then you never know. Like more time, you just go down your own tunnel is basically what I'm saying. So where I'm going with this is that once you get to the kind of secondary schools and you start to figure out yourself, that's when you start to look at the kind of your characteristics. And when it comes to men, we have pride in it. A man always wants to be the best. A man always doesn't want to be embarrassed, there's no humility. Like, so if you don't know how to balance that, you can get yourself into some crazy situations. And I think also pride plays a big part in secondary school. Let me not cap. When you start getting to 13, 14 years old, pride definitely plays a part in your growth. Because I'll give you a good example. Where I grew up, secondary school, the streets is fire. The streets is hot. You feel me? People getting robbed from a young age. I remember back in the day, your phone's getting robbed. If you didn't know the right people, your phone's getting robbed. I've been approached loads of times when I was young. You feel me? Like, and I'm not even shy to say it, like, because it is what it is. You see, pride. There you go. Another man like me might have too much pride. They might not want to tell certain stories. You get me? They might want to keep it a certain way just so that they have that. They maintain their pride. You feel me? Big up Dan as well. Big up Dan in the chat. My broski. Big up Yo Goat. He says, most of my friends started to want to become gangbangers after going to high school. Yeah, there you go. And this is exactly where I'm going with this conversation. You feel me? So cool. You're going secondary school, pride can get you into mad trouble. Let's say you're walking down the street and you barges you now, or anyone barges you. You're like, what, bruv? Are you cool? Did you not see me? You've got a choice. Yeah? You can either take the barge and just keep it walking, or you can react to it. That slight reaction can be a change that can change your life. You go and check the wrong person that barged you. Next, he's bringing out a knife. He's saying, "What do you say, bro?" You get me? And that's pride. You get what I'm trying to say to you? So, like, I feel like as you get older and you learn the system more, you learn about yourself more, pride becomes less important. In my opinion, I think maturity and the way your pride matures is subjective to the individual. But realistically, as you get older, you're meant to look at things. I'm all sweating. As you get, this robe is hot. As you get older, yeah, you're meant to look at things a bit more conservative. You're meant to be you're meant to be the bigger person. Do you know what I'm saying? Because realistically, what? Let's use the example of a youth walking past me and barging me. And big up Leon. Leon said he's joining soon, yeah? I'm going to get through the comments in a minute. If I'm walking down the street and a guy barges me, like, or he hits my shoulder, like, I could turn around and say, bro, and then he could just say sorry. But for that split second before he says sorry, I could turn around another scenario, I could turn around and say, bro, what you doing? Maybe then he's not even trying to say sorry no more. And then a fight starts, bro. For all you know, something crazy could happen, weapons are out, and that's it. My whole point is pride can get you into trouble. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, because more time you have to stand your ground. But realistically, when I look back to those kind of situations, like someone stepping on your trainers, or someone barging you by accident, or someone just doing something that was an accident that's caused an inconvenience to you, yeah? What does it prove? It don't prove nothing. And now I'm older, I look back at that. You get me? Obviously, if it becomes a thing where it's a common thing happening to you and you become, quote unquote, a victim, then you can turn around and say, okay, you know what? You need to start standing your ground. People are taking the piss out of you. So there needs to be a balance. But what I'm basically trying to say is pride can get you into trouble if you don't know how to back it up, basically. That sounds a bit pausish, but if you don't know how to back your talk, pride can get you into trouble, innit? You feel me? So what I'm trying to say to you is that at the end of the day, there needs to be a balance. And it's the same thing when I go to the females as well. Emotions can get you into hot water as well. But it's good to be emotional here and there. It's good to have a bit of pride here and there. But you have to have the balance. You get me? So that's what I'm saying. Big up my had. He says, big dog, my guy. Big up Andrew Ellis. He says pride and ego. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, bro. 100%. Like ego as well. I was meant to put that in the title. Ego is a big thing, man. It's a big thing. Big up my guy Garnacho. Everyone says he's got a big ego. You get me? But at the same time, how do you really know that? Yes, there's certain instances where you probably have shown that, but realistically, you don't know what people are thinking. And we judge a lot of things from the outside in. You feel me? When I watch certain people's interviews, I see a different side to them. So yeah, sometimes they come across a certain way when they're out there, but more time it's like you never know. But another thing is ego. It's like, if, like I said, a man barging you could be your ego just saying, nah, bruv, don't let him do that. But realistically, if it's a one-off thing and it's an accident, it's like, then what? You know, what realistically, it's not that deep, basically, is what I'm trying to say. It's not that deep, you feel me? So that's what I'm saying. Yeah, Danny says send the link. Yeah, I should have even sent it to Danny as well. Your God says, I'm from Mexico. Most people don't want to study. They want to be in a cartel, is it? Tell me more about that, bro. Tell me more about that. That's very interesting, man. I definitely want to know some more about that as well. Big up Andrew Ellis. I hate people who walk across you in the streets. Okay, Andrew, let's talk about it, man. Men who bring out knives are cowards and pussies. He does have a big ego thinking he's CR7. I'm never going to start this conversation. Every time I bring up Garnacho, it starts with a crazy conversation. All right, you guys smash the likes. There's 6 of you watching on YouTube, 1 of you on Twitch, and the rest of you, there's 14 of you on Twitter. Please, if you guys can just go over to Rhino MGTV YouTube, smash the likes on the YouTube page and leave a comment. Because those of you on Twitter, I want to talk to you guys as well. You know, man, male, female, whoever you are, I want to talk to you guys, and I want to see some more comments in here. You know, Sunday shows always take a while to pick up, but I want to see some more comments. You feel me? So those of you that are watching on Twitter, head over to Rhino MGTV YouTube and just smash the likes. Big up Leon as well. He said he's incoming as well. I'm due to send a link to Danny as well. But, you know, let me have a little one-on-one conversation with the people them so far, man. So Andrew says, when you walk, and I think that's a typo, but that's what I'm saying to you. If a guy's purposely trying to walk across you, then, like I said, you have a choice. You don't always have to react. You feel me? Let me change the color of this light. It's looking a bit orange. Okay, that's off. Okay, that's a bit better. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So at the end of the day, you have a choice in it. So like, it's one of those situations where you can choose whether to react or whether you want to just leave it. And it's up to you. I'm not trying to say that just because you have pride, it means you're a dickhead. I'm just saying, just pick your battles. Some battles are unnecessary, you know? I'm not trying to say that if a man walks past you or female or whoever and barges you, like, standing your ground is a bad thing. But what I'm trying to say is it that deep? And I think as you get older, you start to look at things and you just think, you know what I mean? Like, cool. There's other ways you can prove your pride or your ego. There's other ways, like, let's say that you barges me now and I ignore him. You get me? I don't lose nothing like that. He might think he's all big and tough, but realistically, not right now, if we square it up, who's to say you're going to win? Do you get what I'm trying to say? So realistically, me just saying, and then he says sorry, is like, you get me? What do I lose, bruv? When I was younger, it's different because a lot of people are testing your temperature, and there's a lot of situations where I've been in where you have to kind of show it's not a that thing. I hear it. If you're in an environment where it's survival of the fittest, I get it. But I'm saying when you get older and you look at things differently and you look back to things, some things are not as necessary, or they're not as important as they are at the current time as they were previously. You get me? Smash the likes, people. We've got 16 of you on Twitter. There's 9 of you guys on YouTube. Big up you guys so far. Smash the likes. Let me check how many likes we're on right now. Because I need the likes going up, people, man. I need the likes going up. You feel me? I know you guys, a lot of you guys are subscribed here for the football, but I need the likes going up. I've been so busy today as well. Big up Saeed as well. Saeed is live at 9:30 as well. So make sure you guys lock into that. Let me do my little like check quickly. Let's go into the YouTube studio and see what's good, man. Because I hope we've got at least 10 likes. That's what I'm looking for. At least 10 likes. And love as well for you guys that tune into the Rhino's Offside Trap as well. I appreciate it, man. That show is getting very popular as well, so I appreciate it. Big up Andrew Ellis. He says, I don't rate Garnacho that much. I liked ballers and wingers like. My eyesight's moving crazy. Kanchelski, Sharp and Gigs. Also, Andrew, you're old school then. You're old school. You're old school. You're talking about Lee Sharp, yeah? You're old school. Mad old school. And I love that because a lot of the new generation wouldn't even know about Lee Sharp. You feel me? They wouldn't even know about that. You get me? So that's old school ballers, bruv. You feel me? I think Lee Sharp is a pundit now, isn't it? Lee Sharp's a pundit now still. Yeah, man. You get me? Old school Man United player, bruv. Lee Sharp, crazy. Big up Andrew Ellis, man. Okay, yeah, I'm 41 years old. Makes sense, man. Big up Andrew, man. Let me see here. Okay. Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad, man. I've opened the YouTube thingy and I can see let's see. Let's check this out. Cool. So right now we have how many likes have we got? We've got 11 likes. My peoples. I love that. I love that. I love that. I love that. So far, 16 of you guys are still on Twitter. If you could head over and let's get to 20 likes, people. 20 likes, yeah. I'll be, listen, I'll be very grateful. You feel me? But yeah, big up Andrew Ellis. Nanny Beckham was way better technically than Garnacho. Yeah, 100%, man. That's what I'm saying to you. And it's funny because we can talk about football and pride and ego. And I'm going to say this once, and I'm not even saying this to have a long-winded conversation. All I'm saying is, first and foremost, at Manchester United, the standards have gone way below. Facts, and I get that a lot of people want people that are Kobe Manu level, yeah? But a bit of pride and a bit of ego, once it's channeled in the right way and it's managed well, you can get a lot more. So I'm looking at the best of a bad bunch, and that's why I don't criticize the people that are doing their job. You feel me? Next year, I might not want certain people, but at the same time, that's not going to be the focus of my frustrations. Homeboy is young, and people say, oh, you don't bring up Kobe Manu's age. Yes, people do bring up Kobe Manu's age. Let's not gas. Everyone talks about it. The way he wows you because he's 18 is the main thing that we get gassed from as well. Wow, he's only 18, he plays like that. So that whole argument of, oh, no one talks about his age, I hear what people are trying to say, but realistically we do. But I get it. Maybe you don't, nah, actually, I was even going to try and be devil's advocate. No, his age plays a good factor into us giving him his ratings, you get me? But it's good to have a bit of pride and ego. But like I said, you need to have a balance, When you switch over to females now, I feel like it's the same sort of situation. Like, I feel like with females, let me just timestamp this. Yep. With females now, I feel like it's a thing where it's the same as men. If you have too much of something, it can affect your judgment of things. Right now, if I'm trying to think of a good example, like all right, cool, a podcast. Let's say I have a situation where I'm arguing with somebody, and because of what I'm talking about, it kind of they're a bit more touchy about it. They might get emotional, start being a bit rude to me, or might start getting angry, or they start to get angry. And I'm thinking to myself, bro, let's have a healthy conversation. Whether it's touching or not, you should know how to hold down your emotion, balance it. Because when you get too emotional, that's when the argument comes out the window, and then that kind of debate becomes more about your emotions rather than having a debate. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So that's why the whole men versus female kind of dialogue works a lot for me, because I know how to trigger a man's pride and trigger a female's emotion, but at the same time hold mine down. You feel me? Big up Leon. Leon's in the building. You get me?
Larger, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you still.
Big up, man. You carry on.
Yeah, so I feel like it's very important for us to just have the balance. You get me? Let me go through some comments. Someone says something about, you lot love talking to me about Garnacho, I swear to God.
Let's go. Let's go.
Oh, it's not even Garnacho. It's more about if Kobe was 25, he's still cold. But that's what I'm saying. But let's not cap young wizard. If Kobe was 25, we'll have more of an expectation for him. He'll still be cold, but the fact he's this good at his age makes him better. So his age is a factor in the conversation. So when we say the whole, we don't talk about his age, we are. we're more wild because he's only 18. So we know that he's got more of a ceiling because he's so good at 18 that when he gets to 20, 21, 22, he's going to be even better. That's what I'm trying to say. So that whole kind of narrative with we don't talk about his age is kind of, there's a good word. It's misleading because we do talk about his age. We just don't use his age to criticize him, but we use his age to give him positive criticism. We don't use his age to knock him down. We use it to lift him up. But my whole point is, with Garnacho in that, he's not as good as Kobe Manu, but he still, for me, is at age where he can still learn a lot. So I'm not going to be stressed. And if we're going in a direction where every guy is going to be Kobe Manu level, then cool. We can have that standard. Big up kids, you know.
Hey.
But what I'm trying to say is that if it's a thing where right now we have to look at where we're at and we have to have a transition period, then that's it. So that's why I'm not too onto him when it comes to criticizing him. But I hear where the criticism comes from. You feel me?
Rhino, let's not do this, man. Let's not do this because me and you are our loudest. Let's not do this, bro.
Big up Keeds with her Arsenal hat.
I don't even know what you lot are talking about.
She had to wear the Arsenal hat, didn't she? Like,
I have to. I'm going to wear it all the time.
No, turn it around.
What other comments do we have here? Man says Ten Hag out. Finido Denise in. Kel says my guy. Big up Kels, man. Andrew says I have to give Anthony credit lately. Yeah, Anthony's been stepping up a little bit in terms of how bad he's been. Rashford, Fernandez, etc. have too much.
I didn't know this was a football stream. Wow.
Now there's a lot of football people, so you know I'm going to adjust the comments.
This is the pride that we're talking about with men.
Yeah.
This is the pride right
now. Most girls are hot-headed than Hannibal.
You make us that way.
Get on the upcoming stream with Saeed. Mandem talk. Huh? Get on the upcoming stream with Saeed. Mandem talk. Oh, what are you saying that we should? Because we're already on the Mandem talk. I don't know. I'm confused. But let me know what you mean. Hi, KY. But thanks for the comment as well. Andrew Ellis says Kobe Manu could end up, in my opinion, the new Seedorf. I hear that. I've been hearing a lot about that. Young Wizard says I hear that. I just like his tenacity. Yogot says Arsenal #1. So look, KEEDZ has got some fans in there, some fellow Arsenal fans.
Come on.
Ramos says Ten Hag out. Always the men's fault. Okay, let's talk about this. This is a good place to start. Let me timestamp this.
That was just a triggering question, comment, by the way.
Yeah. I like it. I like this. Always the men's fault. And obviously, we've got KEEDZ here. So, KEEDZ, what's your response to this comment? Take it as it is. Don't think about, what does he mean? What are you talking about? Just the fact he says always the men's fault. And if you had to respond directly to this comment, what's your thoughts on it? Big up Andrew Ellis as well. And you lot smash the likes as well. There's 16 of you guys on YouTube now, 18 of you on Twitter. So if you 18 guys can come over to Twitter, come over to the YouTube and smash the likes, I'll be very much grateful. And also, it allows you to join the conversation. Because like I said earlier, for those that weren't here, when you're on Twitter, I don't think you can comment. So I can't see what you guys are thinking. So if you can open another tab and watch this on YouTube, it'll be I'll be much grateful. And also smash the likes as well. I'm going to put the link in there. I don't know if you're able to click it on Twitter, but I'll put the link inside the conversation and see, and maybe you might be able to
I'm not seeing this new bunny, chopping my head off and that. I'm having to move cameras. You know what I'm saying? What's going on with
what I'm going to do?
My camera down, but
what I'm going to do?
I was looking like a bobblehead.
I'm going to fix it. Don't worry. I'm going to fix it. Wait, 1 second.
Right,
but yeah, KEEDZ, you go on with that comment. What do you think about that comment? Let me fix it right now. I'm going to fix it. Still.
About it always being the men's fault.
Yeah. What do you take from that?
I feel like that statement kind of reflects the way that a lot of men feel. But I think that placing blame on an individual gender or feeling like an entire gender is to blame isn't a solution-driven approach. I think that it's not about whose fault it is. It's just about each gender taking accountability and us working together collectively to come to a solution. I don't agree with the whole gender war of a man needs to be like this or a woman needs to be like this, and it's this person's fault and it's that person's fault. If we look at the underlying issues, it can date back to slavery, it can date back to so many different things. So we need to just come together collectively and see how men and women, especially in the Black community, can work together to go forward. Because I feel like we're the main community that is divided, and this whole gender war is being pushed on us. And then you go outside and you see all these other races like getting on with each other, and it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, no, 100%. I feel like that's very true, man, because people, once you start pushing the blame to a gender specifically, that's when that gives people the chance to be unaccountable for their actions. Because, for example, if we start running that whole narrative that men is always a man's fault, then no one's going to take as a female, you might feel obliged not to take accountability for certain things, because you're going to think, hold on, society sees it as always the man's fault, so I'm going to see it like that as well. I'm going to be free, and basically I'm not going to be what's the word I'm looking for? I'm not going to be liable to be judged for anything in terms of if I'm in the wrong or right, because men is always the man's fault, you get me? So I think it's very important that as a society, we just have to take accountability for our own actions, male or female, young or old, you know, because we all got common sense, you know, even though they say common sense is not common, you know, but you get me. Big up Adam as well. Where's your comment here? There's no conflict where the wrongs aren't shared. Big up Rhino, Leon, and KEEDZ. Big up Adam, man.
Yo, large up Adam, man. Adam's our guy.
Big up, man. Yeah, man. Good. He's got very good sense when it comes to these discussions as well. So big up Adam as well. And I think it's the first time I've seen him on this channel in terms of talking about red pill, blue pill.
Adam, where you been, man? You're the professor. You're the knowledge, man. He's a professor. Yeah, man. We need your knowledge,
Professor Adam. Yeah, man. We need that, man. Still. Andrew says, good reply, KEEDZ. Yeah, 100%, man. That's what I'm saying. We have to take accountability for things. You guys smash the likes. I'm going to keep on saying it. 18 of you guys are still on Twitter. So if you 18 lovely people can head over to Rhino MGTV on YouTube and smash the likes and leave a comment, we will talk and we'll have this conversation. There's 19 of you guys on YouTube right now. You guys smash the likes. Let me check the likes right now. We was on 11 before. Let me see what it is now. Let's see. It's loading up. We're on 24. Love that. Let's get to 30 likes, people. Smash the likes. Let's get to 30 likes. Oh, we love that, man. And let's get 10 more likes for KEEDZ and Leon as well. Come on. So let's get to 40. 40 likes, yeah? Because we've got some good panelists on today. So, and that's every Sunday as well. You see these guys here. And I'm due to send a link to Danny as well. I need to open up the
No, Danny's banned, man. Danny's banned.
Oh, he said Danny's banned. He said Danny's banned. But yeah, Leon, so what's your take on that, man? In terms of what we're talking about, what's your perspective on it, my bro? All right, Samsung washing machine. Yep, I can hear
it. My washing machine. Who's got more pride? Is that the question?
Yeah. Who's got more pride? No, in terms of are men always at fault? What's your whole kind of perspective on what KEEDZ has said and what I've just said with that? Do you feel like there is a part of the world where people just naturally think everything's the man's fault? And also, who made that comment? Was it Andrew that made that comment? Let me see.
It was in response to me saying, like, this is the pride. I was just making a statement.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But yeah, even Andrew, if it was you that made that comment, which I believe it was, let us know why you think that as well, because I'd love to hear your perspective. Yeah, it was Andrew. Always the men's fault. Yeah. Oh, is he saying it in a way like people always blame us? Yeah, okay, cool. If you're saying it in that context, or if you actually think that it is always a guy's fault, let me know as well. But Leon, yeah, what do you think about that? Do you think it's always the guy's fault? Do you think there's more accountability that needs to be taken between genders? What are you thinking?
Or is the guy's fault for what, though? Being too proud?
I think, yeah. I think that's what he means. I think if he was responding to what KEEDZ said,
it's easy to scapegoat. Like, well, it's easy to say that it's the guy's fault for being proud because we're seen as more proud, or do you know what I'm saying, in a lot of ways. So it is based on an individual basis, to be honest with you. It's about your kind of, it's about where you're at in it. Like anything if you can't look in the mirror and you're passing things onto someone else when you know it's your fault, then that's one thing. But yeah, it's a difficult question actually. It's not always the guy's fault though, of course not. I'm a guy in it, it's not always our fault. But but no. But yeah, it depends. We need some more context. We should roll some scenarios and kind of.
Okay, cool. Yeah, go on, kids. Go on.
No, I was also gonna say, I feel like it also leads to like a lot of victimization, having that mentality of, oh, it's always guys' fault. Like in the past, I've had guys say, oh, we can never express ourselves. And it's kind of like, okay, cool. But I feel like you're using this now to be a victim. You're not, you're using this as an excuse, what they've put in social media about men find it so hard to open up. And then maybe say, for instance, there's a difference between opening up, processing your emotions, and then emotional dumping. So it seems that there are men who are emotionally constipated. They haven't processed their feelings. So then all of a sudden they get with a woman and you think that, you can emotionally dump on me. But the thing is, I'm not, in terms of like, a therapist is impartial. But if a man is emotionally dumping on me and it's actually got something to do with me, then that's going to have an effect on me, regardless of how impartial I want to be. And I think that sometimes men will emotionally dump and then they'll say, oh, but I can't even express myself. Like, I'm sorry, but I'm catching stray bullets. You're expressing yourself. I'm catching stray bullets. You're emotionally constipated. You're saying it's all the men's fault, and there's all this victimization going on. So I think that there needs to be a balance as well with that.
So do you mean when they're when they're emotionally constipated, they've not healed and they're relying, they're pushing that onto you? Is that what you mean?
Yeah. Like they're not just not healed, they just don't know how to process their emotions. Some men feel extremely uncomfortable with emotions, processing it. And maybe they shut down or they say that they're fine, and then they'll fester, and then all of a sudden they'll be like, this is my safe space, but they just want to dump it on the woman. And I don't think that's okay. You have to process it internally first before you come and tell me.
So does that mean that they feel comfortable enough to dump that on you? Is that what they're saying? They haven't met someone along their journey that they felt comfortable with. They've just met you and they're like, feel comfortable, unload.
I don't know, but they need to not. What's that song by Future? Bitch, don't get too comfortable. I know, like, I'm sorry. Like, what? No,
so what? So would you have liked it if I said that to you, that bitch don't get too comfortable because you're wearing the Arsenal hat and both of us support Man United? Would that be a nice thing for me to be like, bitch, don't get too comfortable, spin that hat back around?
What's wrong with you?
That hat is annoying me. I can't help it. Like every time
when she first came on with it a few weeks ago, annoying me.
I swear I can't ignore it. It's just pissing me off, bro.
I'm not wearing the t-shirt. I'm gonna get in the shorts.
You know what we're gonna do? I'm joking. That would be good.
Man doing Saeed,
that's my ego. Nah, man. Man United or everything. Get out the stream. But yeah, no, 100%. I agree with that, man. But let me ask you something, KEEDZ, because what you said is very interesting. So let's flip that. So would you have that same perspective if it was a female being emotionally constipated? Because what you're saying, a lot of females are very emotionally constipated as well because of the fact that they maybe haven't met the right guy and whatever. Would you have that same angle? If a guy was saying, bruv, come on, man, like, it's too much, man. Like, don't use me as your dumping grounds. Would you still feel like a guy's allowed to say that? Or would you kind of feel like it's a bit different?
No, 100% agree. I think that it's the individual's responsibility to work through their own mess. It's not that you can't speak to somebody. Like, for instance, if somebody has been sexually abused, it's not that you can't speak to your partner about it. But if that's the first time you're ever opening up about that, That's a lot for, a human being to take, because you're going through emotions that you haven't processed yourself internally. And now you want to put that on somebody else. Like, that's not fair. That's not their job. You have to discuss that with other people and a professional, or do some sort of inner work, and then, have that conversation with your partner.
Yeah. No, facts, man. No, I love that. Let me go through some of these comments. Big up Adam. He says, no, I read that one before. He says, I study psychology and my thesis is on the relationship between cognition and emotion. So this is interesting. I'm curious to hear how people in the UK see this topic. Love. Oh, I love that, Adam, man. If you're still here, you're still in the chat. Listen, throw some like different scenarios in, or certain situations that you've been studying, and let's talk about that, man. And yeah, you get to hear our perspectives, or if you've got any specific questions and you want to know how we see things based on the fact we're from the UK. I love that, because I feel like there is definitely a big culture difference when it comes to UK and maybe, let's say, America and stuff. And I'll use another example as well, with let me just write something down quickly. Yeah, so with when it comes to things like for example, I wanted to do a show on and it's going to be another football thing, but it's KEEDZ will be able to fit in perfectly. It's like how we look at football players and how some people say we're too harsh on them. And when I was talking about certain players that have a certain pride and have a certain ego, and it doesn't even just have to be football, it could be all sports. Like, I feel like we always have to remember people are human, innit? So a lot of things that they do on social media could look like they think a certain way, but you never know what pressures they're going through or what it really is like, It could be a PR team. And obviously at the same time, depending on who you are, me personally, even when I've had people control my PR, it always still has to be under my narrative. Like, I always have to give the green light, like, because I'm very careful about that. Like, I don't like things to be portrayed wrong. I'm an individual that doesn't like to be misinterpreted or misunderstood. I think it's something that just upsets my energy. I just feel like there's always a conversation, always. Even when it gets to the part where it's emotional or there's feelings or whatever, there's always a conversation to be had. If someone's annoyed you or someone's annoyed me, if someone's annoyed me or I've annoyed somebody, I'm always willing to have that conversation and find out why, what's going on. I'll give you a good example. I remember back in BB times, like BlackBerry, like I had loads of people on my BlackBerry. If I see someone disappear and I'm thinking, oh wow, what happened? Some people disappear on and off social media, but for example, just getting deleted, I would always want to kind of have a kind of reason in my head as to why. If I know why and it makes sense, then it's cool. But if it's something that I feel like could be a conversation, like for example, someone might say, "Oh, we don't really speak that much," I might say, "Yeah, cool." But then musically, if you got people on social media, I feel like music, when you're in the music world, it's good to keep people there to kind of keep your network alive, because you never know when you might need somebody in it. So if someone was to do it musically, I might turn around and say to them, bro, or females or whatever, I say, right, you know what? You never know when you might need somebody, And I even love to have that conversation, because that conversation can now help them. And this is funny that I'm talking about this, because I had this exact situation. There was a singer, there was a female that sings on my Snap, yeah? I'm trying to remember the story though. But all I remember is that basically, obviously I manage Firms. Firms is a producer. The singer is Firms' friend. So obviously I had the singer on my Snap, and one day the singer disappeared. So I'm thinking, raw, what's going on? I think I've asked Firms what's happened, and he wasn't too sure. He wasn't too privy to the situation. But she basically, once he spoke to her, she was basically like, oh yeah, me and Rhino don't really talk anyway, so I'm cleaning up my Snap. Cool now. So I've said to Firms like, raw, this person's actually gone out of her way to delete me. And maybe you can say there was a bit of pride there, possibly, but I think it was the right pride, innit? So cool, I've said to him, raw, like, she never knows when she might need me, kind of thing. But I didn't say nothing of it. Then later down the line, I think she re-added me. And then I said I'm gonna leave her hanging for a bit, because I said, raw, now look at you, like, Do you get what I'm saying? So I did that now. Maybe that's the pride. And then later on, I added her back. But then she understood, basically, is what I'm trying to say. So that means that if we had the conversation prior before she deleted me and said, okay, Rhino, you know what? We don't speak that much. Do you think it makes sense for me to still have you here? It would have been easier. Would have got to the root of everything rather than her having to, delete me, then look stupid, come running back, and then, you know what I'm saying? All I'm basically saying is that there's always a conversation and things. No matter what you're feeling, no matter what you're thinking.
You don't always get that conversation, though. You don't always.
That's the thing.
Why did she delete you?
Huh?
Why did she delete you?
She said that we don't really speak. But then later on, she realized
why did she add you?
Because sometimes
I don't know.
They just feel it. I mean, sometimes
I don't know. I have a lot of people that add me. People add me every day. People add me every day. So people add me for the content. People add me because they might want to see what I'm doing musically. They might want to keep up with me, my life or whatever. And a lot of people, majority of the people that add me are either supporters or people that are interested in music or have a common interest, like maybe their friend. You know what I mean? So they and I used to do a lot of, remember KEEDZ? I don't know if you remember, like years ago, I used to do a lot of talks on my Snap. Remember? I used to talk about what we're talking about now. I used to talk a lot about it on my Snap and talk about the music industry and talk about things like this, pride and how we need to, support our peoples and all of that. So a lot of people were adding me for different reasons, but trust me, people, I feel like I respect her for being able to add me back and not feel prideful that, oh, you know what, I'm going to look mad. Some people are going to be like, nah, fuck that. I'm not adding back.
I've made the decision.
You know what, I'm going to stick with it. But you're blocking your blessings because you never know.
You know what it is for me, yeah?
You never know.
Sometimes people have things in their head and they're going through stuff, yeah. And I'm like, obviously, I made it clear on here, Rhino. You can obviously tell kind of by the way I'm a very much a sit back and let things play out kind of person, innit?
Yeah.
I'm like less reactionary, like with a lot of things. And there's some little things that I'm reactionary, but most of the things not. So it's like I've had it before where people feel a type of way, and then I've spoken to them about it further down the line, 3-6 months, and they've been like, oh, well, this person told me this about you. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to change to try and justify who I am to you. I'm just going to keep being me. And then over time, they're like, actually, I feel a bit stupid because you're not like that, rare. So I don't really give a shit. Like, just let them have their moment and do their thing. Do you know what I mean? But I do hear it's a bit weird when they do it still, because you're like, or people take this unfollow thing way seriously. Like there's people I don't even follow on my profile, but I'd see them and they're like, and we're tight in it. Like they're just not showing me what I need to see right now on socials, innit? Like, and so I don't.
It's not that deep. I don't get why people so pressed about that. Like, oh my God, why are you not following me? I'm gonna unfollow you. Like, are we 10? I don't get it. Don't make no sense.
Do you know what is with that? Yeah, I understand that though. And hear me out. Yeah, when I say I understand it, it's not that deep realistically, but I think it depends on the context. For example, I have a lot of people like you guys that I know in real life, but they don't follow me, so I'm not really pressed about it. But I think when it comes to like, I understand the whole when someone unfollows you. I understand it. I don't know why. Maybe you guys might not.
Rhino's got the follow and follow up. It tells you the little notification.
Oh no, like, I used to, not anymore. But I feel like if it's done, there's things I want to say, but there's things I can't say because there's a lot of industry stuff that I don't want to spill out there. So I'm gonna figure out how to say this. So cool. And me, I always like to sprinkle.
NDA's techie.
What it is, I feel like if it's done to prove a point or it's done in a malicious way, it's a boy thing, man. Someone proper finds your name and says, take that.
What the hell? That sounds like pride. I'm not gonna lie.
All right, cool.
That sounds like mad pride.
All right, cool. KEEDZ, be dead honest. I don't want to hear. Don't lie, yeah? If right now I delete you on Snap, but you're telling me you're not going to feel away? Yes or no? If I delete you right now...
No, but. We have to put in
No, but. Wait, forget the context. Forget the context.
No.
You see? Here we go. Now you...
But listen, personally, if you deleted me on Snap, I would wonder why. But that's only because I actually consider you to be somebody who I care about and relate
There
with.
you go.
Everyone on my Snap, I don't give a shit. Listen,
There you go.
I
So that's my point.
my Snap, and people are like, "Did you delete me?" I'm like, why are you even bothered? Like, why are you even pressed off the fact that I've disappeared? Like, what's going on with you? But
that's what I'm saying, though, Keys.
Somebody...
In that context is what I'm talking about. If someone that you know you're close with, because remember you used the same point 2 minutes ago. You said there's people you know that don't follow you. But if someone goes out their way to follow you, you're gonna want to know why. You're gonna take it to heart.
No, yeah, but I'm not gonna get pressed. I'm just gonna want to know why. Like for me, I told certain of my brethren,
that was
like,
a pause,
Instagram...
by the way. But carry on. Yeah.
What did she say? What did she say, Leah?
I'm not gonna get pressed in it, but carry on.
What the hell? No way!
I usually get done with it, innit? So I'm just handing out.
I'm a female. I can get pressed, babe. I've got other areas to press.
I've still not got this thing still.
Anyway, so
I love that.
I even remember. You just made me lose my train of thought.
You was talking about basically, obviously, if it's someone that you care about, like a good brethren or whatever, it's gonna mean something, but you're not gonna let it stress you out. It's gonna be more curious as to why.
So I've told certain people, I'm kind of raw though. I just say, like, I'm not gonna lie, your Instagram, your Snapchat don't inspire me. Like, if someone asks me why are you unfollowing me, I'm gonna be very real. Like, the type of person I am, I follow people that inspire me or that post relative things. If I feel as though all you've got to offer is selfies, I don't want to follow you. Like, I don't care. Like, I'm not even trying to be rude, and that's how I am on social media. So people have to understand that. But we need to address Temi Ayo.
Just to add to that, I hear that because sometimes people get emotional about them things, but then they've got your number. And it's like that holds way more weight than the hundreds of people on my thing who haven't got my number. So, yeah.
But do better. Like, if you want me to follow you, do some inspiring shit. Like, I don't get it. Don't be mad at me. Like, don't be mad at me because you're not posting anything that makes me think, like, it's worth my time. And
also, it doesn't, like, just to go into the social media guy here, like, it doesn't really benefit you by having dead people on your thing anyway. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's shit. Like, for your actual profile, what the platform wants. But yeah, that's a bit techie, but you get me.
The analytics all messed up now because, like, you're boring, and I got bare bummy things on my. I got bare bummy boring people that are coming up, which is in alignment with your shitty profile. You must be mad.
Which comment did you say you wanted to address, KEEDZ? Was it Temi's one?
Temi Ayo says women definitely have another level of pride.
All right, KEEDZ, let's get back to this one. Yeah. Andrew was saying that he said that because she said it was the man's fault for stuff happening to women. So I was responding to that comment. What did you say was the man's fault? Again, remind me.
Oh no, it was a joke. You guys were talking about football, and then you continue talking about it, and I was like, "Oh, this is the male pride right now."
Oh yeah. I get that. Okay, cool. All right, cool. So Temi's saying women definitely have another level of pride. What have you got to say in response to that?
I don't, like, personally, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know if anybody agrees with this, but I feel that if there's a situation where a woman is maybe kind of getting out of character, or she's a bit pissed off or whatever, the guy should be the person to calm her down and be the bigger person. Like, if I'm pissed off with my man for something, I don't expect him to start also raising his voice and acting funny, because if he calms down, I'll immediately be like, oh my god, I'm sorry, and I'll realize that I'm the person in the wrong. But then if the guy is going to also be prideful and rude and disrespectful, or like fight fire for fire, it's just going to escalate, because as I feel like masculine energy is actually being humble and calming down and making your woman know it's okay, babe, like, chill. But then because we're so emotional, if a man starts to heighten his emotion or raise to us, we just go higher and higher. And then it's like two women fighting. That's my opinion.
I hear that though, because like we are the ones who take control in it, like, in a way, but in a subtle way. So do you know what I mean? That's kind of that. I'm not gonna lie, that's kind of my style still. Because like, if there's things that have been brought to the table, unless I'm strong, I feel really passionate about it. Yeah, I'm just like, especially if somebody comes at me, because I've had it before, people come at me with energy, yeah, and I'm like, nah, not for this. Do you know what I mean? Like, no, not for this. So like, then I can bring the, because sometimes when people are like got hot head rhino and stuff like that, yeah, they like.
1 second.
I'm just playing.
Yeah, no, I was playing. I'm trying to do something. You know what I'm trying to work out? Yeah,
taking it off because of the hat. I swear
that. No. I'm trying to do something here. How do people do it? Yeah, so that, for example, let's say I just do this screen. Yeah.
What do you mean?
There's a way people.
One person.
Yeah, they do it so straight away. It's the person that they want to focus on. So I was just figuring it out, and it just messed up the stream. Let me see.
Cool.
Okay, there's a way people do it. I was just curious. Sorry, guys, my curiosity was getting.
Yeah, it's cool. Just yeah. Getting, yeah. Do you know what I mean? Just talking about it. But I'm joking.
But yeah, you're saying that basically that's your kind of style, basically.
For example, yeah, like people who are maybe not my personality type have hit me with energy in the past, and I've been like, okay, I foresee that if I match that energy that you've got, where this is going to go. And really, there's going to be hi people, what's going on? Welcome to it. Do you know what I mean? But
sorry, I figured it out.
I'm cool, man. I can run it. But it's not going to go around the right route. So I kind of hear where KEEDZ is coming from, because like that calm bit allows us to then deal with the situation with a better thing. And there's nothing wrong that if you have what's the word? Annoyed someone or gone against the principles or something. Do you know what I mean? For them to say, look, you've pissed me off. Do you know what I mean? Or da. But like, yeah, shouting back to try and get your point across when you're trying to like move on a little bit or trying to understand each other, it's a bit mad still. So I hear where that's coming from. But at the same time, when it comes to the women with pride, there's a lot of situations where women have got more pride. Yeah, like women like to clap back, you know. Women like to clap back, trust me. Like, yeah. I know more situations where women have clapped back at guys and been like, yeah, at least I've got back at him than guys have done. Like, I know a few more, yeah.
Well, that's because you're a guy, probably.
What do you mean?
Because you're a guy, so you're obviously going to know like more situations where women have been prideful, no?
No.
Okay, all right. Can I just add something? Also, I would say that, would you not agree that women are more vulnerable than men?
Do you know what it is with this kind of conversation? Yeah.
No. Do you know
what she's talking about then? Yeah.
No, I know what you're talking about, but do you know what's? I'm thinking about it because I like to kind of respond.
Physically, like in every sense, a woman is more vulnerable than a man. That's what I just want to.
I think to a degree, yes.
Then you're not saying that you're saying women are not stronger than men in some aspects, then?
No. Okay, women physically, I don't think. I mean, obviously, there's some women that can be stronger than men, right? If they work out really hard, I guess. Wow. But I'm saying emotionally or physically, just the fact that, you know, we have breasts, we carry babies, like we're more vulnerable emotionally and physically, right? So if I'm like shouting at a guy or something, and then this guy shouts at me, I feel like that's a problem, because obviously he's a man and he's obviously bigger than me, probably. He can be violent, he's more aggressive. So that's why I feel like a man's pride, if he wants to show this girl, like, I don't know who you're talking to, or I don't know who you think you are, that's not really a safe situation for the woman. I think as a man, he should want to protect that woman. Obviously, yes, women piss men off and we do wrong things, but I just don't think it's appropriate for the man. I don't think it's appropriate for the woman to act like that either. I'm just saying, as a man, I feel like the man isn't as vulnerable as the woman. Rhino, what do you want to say?
I was going to say,
I'm taking it in.
It depends on the personality, and like if you know that something's going to put someone in a certain predicament, like in that argument, then you've got to be careful of the way you approach the argument. Not to say you can't get your point across and you have to be scared about everything you say around them, but there's still a level of respect and understand somebody and how they respond to things in a way. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm not saying that's for me. I just know I know other people, my brethren, who don't respond to the things the way that I do. So if you come with them like with mad energy about something, there's nothing wrong with saying piss up. If you come like full on heat to them, then yeah, it's fire against fire. You know what I mean? And he's going to be like, well, you could have approached me differently. Do you know what I'm
saying? Yeah.
But that's pride. That's what I think. That's the male pride.
Let me respond to this. Then the woman... go on. I'll respond after. Go
on. Not really though, because then the woman's like, is it not like, yeah, not that. Is it like, what was I going to say? Is it not like a lack of experience and possibly emotional intelligence from the woman to not approach it in that way? Now, I'm saying like full on, like, do you know what I mean? Raging at the guy about something in it when it's like, whoa, like, could that have been approached differently? Like your parents when they tell you off, like sometimes they're like, I'm disappointed in you. Sometimes they're raging. Do you know what I mean? So, like.
Yeah, well, because women are very emotional, as I said. Okay. Like, I mean, or we've all agreed. Well, I don't know if we've agreed, but I feel that women are very emotional. I think I feel that the reason why a man would react in that way is probably his ego of him being like, who the fuck is she talking to? That's kind of, I don't think it's an emotional, well, I don't know. Pride is obviously an emotion. So he's probably feeling anger or he's feeling disrespected. And that's why he's going to respond in that way. And it takes a lot of self-control to be humble in those situations instead of being prideful.
I agree.
Could he feel disrespected? Sorry, Ryan. Could he feel disappointed and a bit disrespected that you know him and you approached it in that way that you could have done it differently? I know I get the emotion there, but like where it's like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
You can approach it, you've just gone straight in.
Yeah, I think it's not a personal thing though. That's what we need to understand, that usually when people respond out of emotions, it's actually nothing to do with the other person. It's everything to do with the person who's responding, whatever's happening with them internally. Like you can't say, oh, I know that some guys are like, oh, she doesn't respect me. Well, she clearly doesn't have that emotional restraint within herself. And in a way, she's disrespecting herself by disrespecting you because she can't control herself. It's not a personal thing. It's that she's so emotionally heightened that she can't control herself. And then you also see on the other side that a man is controlled by his ego and his emotion, that he can't control himself either. And then when those two things come together, that's when it's really dangerous and it's really toxic. Like you can't have an extremely emotional woman and an extremely prideful man. That's when like violence and things like that occur.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, 100%, man. Big up Adam. He says KEEDZ is spot on here. Women are vulnerable physically, and that probably is the main reason for the differences between the sexes. We face different life challenges and we develop different strategies. 100%. 30 people in the building. Those of you that are watching on Twitter, please head over to the YouTube, Rhino MGTV. And if you can join in on the comments and like the video on YouTube, I'll be much grateful. Thank you. We passed 30 likes as well. Let's get to 40 likes, people. 40 likes, man. Next target, people. All right, cool. And while smiling at what you said, I'm going to go through some of your comments as well, people. So just bear with me. Because when you said the whole women are more vulnerable, I agree. But it's like, what made me laugh in my head is because there was a podcast I did. I think KEEDZ wasn't here. We was talking about double standards and was talking about how in certain jobs, males get paid more. And when I was trying to bring this point of the fact that females are kind of more vulnerable, it's like people don't know which one to pick. Like, do you understand that a guy or an employer, because it could be a female employer as well, is going to generally maybe pay a man more wages because maybe they're less likely to get pregnant, they're less likely to have a break in their schedule in the terms of the fact that they can't have children and stuff like that. We had that kind of whole conversation and was talking about how wages need to be fairer in general and whatever, but at the same time, depending on who the employer is, will kind of factor in how they want to pay people and how it's not fair because a job that a woman can do exactly the same as a man should be equal pay. But if our narrative right now is women are more vulnerable, doesn't that kind of excuse it, or do you think no? What do you think on that? What do you think's your thoughts on that? Because if women are more vulnerable, they're less likely to be put into a situation where their competence of the job is hindered. Do you know what I'm saying? So, do you agree or disagree? I'm just asking you. I'm playing. Not I agree or disagree. I'm just asking because that's some of the points people are making. Yeah.
No, I was having a conversation about this the other day, and I said
Yeah.
that I do think it's like extremely unfair how women don't get paid a certain amount, or like in boxing, they get less time and less rounds in comparison to men. Um, but I think the fact that women are more vulnerable is the reason why they should be paid equally. Because,
Okay.
you're straining yourself, you're straining your body. Men are not, I'm not saying that men don't do things, but you're not an incubator for a child. And in order to give birth to a child, you have to be healthy, you have to take care of yourself prior to getting pregnant. I think people think about, oh, women need to be protected when they're pregnant, but you
Mm.
actually need to protect yourself and be healthy in order to get pregnant and keep that baby. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that it should be a situation where women are paid less than men, um, especially when at times women might have to overexert themselves, whereas a man would find it so easy. I think that
Yeah.
it should be equal. It should be based on your competence, your skill, and the amount of work you put in. But
Yeah. That's basically
I
what
do
we
think,
kind of got said in the end when we got to the end of that discussion. But yeah, go on.
yeah,
Mm.
I do think men are vulnerable too. I do think that
Yeah, that's my next bit
men
that I was gonna go into. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think that men have a lot of things thrown at them in society. Like they have to maneuver through so much. There's women, there's money, there's ego, there's so many things thrown at them. And as a man, if you don't have self-control, if you don't have emotional intelligence, if you don't have that grounding or that purpose, you're literally just a walking, like, it's mad. Do you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
It's really crazy. And then you have to have this level of maturity and responsibility maneuvering through life, and you also have to be a leader.
yeah,
And I think a lot of men are really struggling with that. I
yeah.
think it's a massive burden to carry, especially within the Black community. So
Yeah. 100%, man.
Facts.
100%. Yeah, well said, man, because that's exactly kind of the conclusion we came to towards the end of it. Because my thing about doing these podcasts is spreading awareness. And yes, I want to have a bit of banter here and there. I want to, I want all of us to get triggered in different ways, whether I get triggered or Keeds get triggered or whoever, Leon or whoever. I like to have our little arguments and debates and like have our kind of very funny moments, but at the same time, I feel like I always want to end it with a message, and the fact that we can have a conversation and get emotional, get upset, and still be able to stay here and talk about it is what I love. And that's why I like to have more of these uncomfortable conversations, because you never know who's watching this that just might sit here and just take some knowledge from it, and it might just brighten up their day, and there might be a part of their life that they're missing something, and this was what they were missing.
Yeah, they can take that in life.
You get me? Like, Keeds might have just said something that made them think, yeah, oh my gosh, I'm in this situation. I never thought of it in the solution that Keeds just said. I never thought of it in that way. Damn, she's helped me. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's why I say, we talk the real, man. And you're not always going to agree with me. You might not always agree with people on the panel, but we let's have a conversation about it. And I'm sure Keeds and Leon can say it as well. We're always free to hear other people's perspectives, and take our bias out of it. You know what I'm saying? Because we're always learning as well.
That's how you grow.
That's how you grow. Yeah, literally. So yeah, man. Big up the people in the chat so far. My ring doorbell. I need to put that on mute when I'm on chats, man. So
that thing sounded mad Christmassy as well.
yeah.
Rory.
Big up the chat as well. Yeah, we're gonna probably go to Rory's topic, and that will be the last one before we close up. Big up FNR as well. Run up the lights, people. Yeah. Hour in already, hour and 9 minutes. We're currently on, let's see how many likes we're on. We were on 31 not so long ago. Let's see, we're on 32 now as well. Let's see if we can get to 40 likes, people. There's still 27 of you in the building. Big up you guys. How many of you guys are on Twitter? So 18 of you guys are watching from Twitter. If you can still open another window, if you haven't already, like the video on YouTube and leave a comment. Feel free, that would be much appreciated. Your goat was talking about Mexico. He said Mexico. Honestly, in Mexico where I live, our women tend to blame the men a lot, but it's justified because every year women disappear. They get kidnapped. More and more causing our women to be fearful. Yeah, and that goes back to vulnerabilities as well, you know. And obviously there must be certain things happening in Mexico why it's specifically women that's happening to as well. That's sad, man. What else did I miss out earlier? Okay, so did I read this one? Yeah, I think it came up twice.
That's
I clicked
crazy.
it twice.
That's really sad.
Yeah, very deep still. Is there any other comments I missed? We never done feelings before because we never done feelings before because we were called weak. Yeah, we spoke about this on a few shows as well. And that's where pride and the effects of society can come into it. That's what we always tell people at the end of the day, be yourself.
That's an interesting point.
And set your own legacy.
Yeah, it's an interesting point because if you wanna find a partner and you want to hold something down and you want to build something with that person, there's going to be times within that relationship where it is just you and that other person. Not to say you won't have friends outside of that. So you do have to realize as time evolves on for quite a few of us, the mandem and the galdem circles is gonna be like less time in that or split time between that and what you do building in it. So like, do you know what I'm saying? You have to be able to, do you know what I'm saying? Like, just like, there's no point hiding it behind closed doors, in it. Like, try and bring all that into aspects of your life. It doesn't actually show you weak, though, to be fair. It shows strength.
Yeah, and even just to elaborate on that, like, society says that, you know, men should be stronger. And that's what I wanted to say on KEEDZ's point as well, when she was like, sometimes, obviously, you expect the guy to kind of be the person to be chilled and try and kind of bring that balance. But sometimes the other way around, like KEEDZ also mentioned after, men are also vulnerable too. So I think the main thing will be communication. You guys both speak it out. You talk about what you need and what you're feeling. The guy expresses it and you figure it out. You compromise. You feel me? And then you work it out. And if over the months and over the years, it doesn't seem to be working out, you know, then you can say, okay, maybe this is not for me, or vice versa. Maybe it's not for the female,
over
whatever,
years,
and you depart. Say again? Or
over
months, you know. Yeah, well, months. It's best to find it in months than years, but there are a lot of people stay in things that they're comfortable. You know, they get comfortable and they stay in it as well, and they don't want to be real to themselves. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And those things can play a part as well. Big up Temi for your comment. We responded to that.
All right, and let me just add one thing to what you just said.
Leon looked mad confused. Oh yeah, earlier.
Yeah, loud. I've already added him in the comments. I think a big thing along my personal growth journey, because obviously on this channel as well, when we do the pods, we kind of share our own individual things to an extent as well sometimes, is having the uncomfortable conversations without overthinking it too much, like having the difficult conversations within friendships and relationships. Do you know what I'm saying? Because I feel like years ago I never did it, and I feel like that can cause big blocks in both friendships and relationships. So I think that's an important thing as well, is like you can take people that you trust with what you talk about, and that you value, that will respect what you say. You can take shit to them, and you can take good things and shit to them at the same time. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, and then work through it. Because I always just thought from a male perspective that because you'll very rarely hear me talk negative. Like, it's just not within my thing. I'm like, everything's good, everything's good. But even like people in my family sometimes have been like, but are you good? Because you're always looking after everyone else and they're good, and you're always saying that you're good, but are you? And I think definitely having them uncomfortable conversations when you've got something to say that isn't the best news or that isn't the best thing is to have them as well. But I just think naturally a lot of us don't feel comfortable to do that. So.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. So with that, Leon, when you said that, you was talking about basically learning to be yourself and whatever, and not trying to be negative and stuff like that. Do you find yourself in positions sometimes where it's like you have to be a bit negative, maybe because sometimes the toxic positivity can creep in?
I would just say that it's just okay. Like, sometimes it's like my default sometimes was just to be like, but there's a worse scenario out there. Or
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, just to try and find the positives of things and move forward. But sometimes you just got to be like, no, this is a bit shit, and this is a bit. Do you know what I mean? And then like take the full emotion, not just be like solution all the time. Do you know what I mean? And then deal with that in the way you feel. Do you know what I'm saying? Because sometimes you do, like, sometimes you don't realize that you're not feeling great or something like that, like maybe, would I say subconsciously, or it's not like, do you know what I mean? Because my default is just to be like, right, cool, find positivity and find a solution. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes you got to process the other sides of the emotion.
Yeah, 100%, man. KEEDZ, what you got to say on that?
No, what about, I find it weird a bit, or maybe that's not the best use of word, but what about people who say that they feel that they've never been through anything, they don't need to go to therapy, and they're absolutely fine? What, because I feel that in the male community, there is a lot of that. And I don't think that there has to be something specific that's devastating in order for somebody to go to therapy or work through their emotions. We all have trauma, and a lot of these traumas we're unaware of, and they can happen to us in our childhood. They, you know, the way that we are now is literally because of how we were raised. So all the experiences, that's everything that's compounded, and that made us who we are. So when a man says that there's no reason for me to go to therapy, I don't need to work for anything, I don't need to process anything, what do you think that is? Do you think that's normal?
No, because I think we're afraid to be weak. I'll give you something that's golden, for anyone watching this and anyone that does replay this. I watched that episode on Chucky's HC podcast.
And make sure while you're listening to this golden,
yo, honestly, this changed my life.
Like the video, Chucky. I've met Chucky a few times, and I've been on his podcast. Obviously, I was in the backstage when I was one of my peoples was on there still. So I've been on Chucky's. Yeah, we got.
Yeah, I like what that man do.
I haven't spoken to him for a minute though, but
I stopped watching it a while ago. But I used to
Poet
watch
and that in it.
Yeah, I used to watch it religiously. Savage Dan and all them, like and
Savage Dan. Big up them. Big up them.
There's what I was. What's her name? Julie Adenuga.
Adenuga. Yeah.
She was on it one time. Yeah, and she said like the way she was talking about therapy completely changed my perspective on it. This was years ago as well, because she's like, people have a negative view on the word therapy, therapist. As soon as you hear that, it's like, no, there's nothing wrong with me. And it's like her perspective was, it doesn't matter whether you feel good or bad, having an impartial person to give you a different perspective on your life is always beneficial. So for me, I completely changed my mindset on this whole therapy thing. And also I changed my mindset from what my auntie was talking about. She's had it ongoing for years and stuff like that. Yeah. And she's felt great for years sometimes. Is like people who like, because my example is like people in my family, obviously my mum and dad got divorced in it, and it's like they kind of dealt with therapy, solve that, move on. And it's like, no, it's an ongoing process. Do you know what I mean? So I think that episode is golden, by the way. You'll have to search it. It's probably about 4 or 5 years old. It's absolutely brilliant, honestly. Like,
maybe we can even do a show on it still. Because
she's dope. The way
when it comes, big up Julia Adenuga. I think I've met her before. I don't think I've met Dan, but like I said, I've met Chucky. Like, he's a real guy, man, real people's man. When it comes to that as well, I agree with you, Leon. Like, it's a lot of it is just the connotations behind what you think it is.
It's the word, right? When people hear the word, they're like, oh,
therapy. It sounds deep, but realistically, you're just literally finding a person in between to talk to. That's all it is. Somebody that can not have any emotional connection to you and the person that you're talking to, that you got the situation with, maybe, or it could be solo therapy.
Think about it, if you look at somewhere like Dragon's Den or Shark Tank, you're taking your business impartially to somebody that is experienced there. Do you know what I mean? Or there's loads of other aspects. You told me you do listening parties. There could be someone in that room you've never heard from before, and they're like, I want to give you my perspective on the track. It's a similar concept, really. Because people feel uncomfortable with the word therapist. Therapy. They don't want to voice it out to people. Like, as soon as people hear the word therapist, I bet they say straight away, oh, what's going on? What's wrong with you?
And on top of that, it's got a kind of, oh, if you need therapy, you must be weak. Like, it's just got that narrative. But realistically, it's not that, you know. It's literally somebody that's got an expertise in and is impartial. And obviously, if you don't know what impartial is, it's just somebody that's not going to have a biased kind of opinion. They're just out
of it. Is it pride as well, though? Is it
it's definitely pride.
It's also pride. Like, I'm good. I don't need this. And I think that also, like, I don't know, Rory mentioned something about religion. I feel like when you have a relationship with God as a man, you have to be really vulnerable. And I think maybe that's something that a lot of people struggle with, like being vulnerable and submitting and being open. And, you know, maybe you feel the Holy Spirit and you want to cry or you want to let things out. I think that a man who works through his emotion, who cries, who processes things, that's attractive. That is strong. That is masculine. A man that's like all acting macho, like shut the F up and do it, that's weak. That's acting, you know, like a, I don't know, I don't want to say feminine because I don't want to associate us feminine women with that. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, 100%, and that's what I'm saying.
What?
Like
that, sometimes that trauma catches up to them as well further down the line. They've just years, and then it's
and
just like
and on top of that, there's probably more to their life, which is why they're like that. And there's something that they need to address in their life, and then maybe they start to see things differently. Sometimes you get wake up calls in life, or you go through a sudden thing where the way you was has caused a big situation, and now it's impacted you, and you now think, hold on, I don't need to be like this, you know. So it's the same thing I said earlier, bro. Back in the day when I was growing up, someone might walk and barge me. The response that I give to them now compared to what I would have given when I was 18 is like, you know what I mean? I'm ready to maybe fight, or, bruv, what you doing? Now, barge me, oh, my bad, I'm sorry, bro. You know what I mean? But back then, you probably have a bit more pride and ego because you're thinking, hold on, I need to stand my ground. That person just barged me. I need to show that person that, you know what I mean? But realistically, you don't even know that person, and it's not even that thing. So I feel like with therapy, even big up Adam, he says here, therapy is useful.
A good point. This is a banging
because
point.
Our brains need other brains in order to make sense of the reality we share. Through conversation, we have someone mirror our thoughts and states. It frees mental space. Facts, 100%. I don't even need to say
Big
anymore.
up Adam, man.
That's it. You know, and he's put here. It frees mental space and also gives our stories a narrative structure that can make sense only when verbally expressed. Yeah, 100%, 100%. Because at the end of the day, you just this all links to what I was saying. Pride versus emotion. These things can stop you from come to it like I don't know if you guys know about equilibrium. Just be in the middle. It can throw you off. It can cause you to be too emotional. It could cause you to overlook things or underlook things, or your emotions can block common sense, basically, is what I'm trying to say. Sometimes you just need to take yourself out of it. That's why I feel like when I have this show, and I've had situations, even the last time when Dan was getting upset, before that I've had people like Alyssa getting upset as well. They don't realize that I'm impartial. I'm trying to be as impartial as I can because I'm a host. You know, yes, I'm going to have certain things that I gravitate to, but I like to look at both sides and call it Mr. Devil's Advocate. I have to look at it both ways because that's the way you have the conversation. You know, some days it's going to look like the pressure was more on you and maybe everyone wasn't supporting you, but it's not really that. At the end of everything, the final message would be, you know what, this is what needs to be better. For example, when I've told, what's her name, Jamila, you know what, I don't think you should be doing this on the show, whatever. Certain times I spoke to her off air and told her not to get too personal or whatever, but that's the emotions getting in because maybe someone said something that's triggered something she can relate to. So it's all about sometimes learning to put our emotions to the side or put our pride to the side and look at things objectively. You feel me? So yeah, 100%. Therapy is, bruv, I'm telling you, look into it. If you feel like there's something in your life that needs addressing, like, trust me, try it. You don't know it till you try it.
You don't feel like there's something that needs addressing.
Exactly.
True. That's true.
Yeah, like 100%. Like me,
it might not be something specific that's a problem. It might be something that you just need another opinion. Like you said, you guys are right.
And it's
go
like
on.
educating people on that. Like, for example, like if I like, do you know what I mean? If I like, I don't know, like started having like a proper deep relationship with someone like that, and I took to them and I said, like, I feel comfortable to share this to you, that I'm going to therapy and stuff like that. Yeah, their reaction shouldn't be, and like maybe it is, I wouldn't judge them, maybe like they'll be like, oh really, why, what's going on? But like their reaction should, do you know what I'm saying, like it should be able to understand your perspective of this is why I'm going to it. Do you know what I mean? Rather than having like people just straight away have that red flag where it's like not a red flag, but they're like, oh my god,
it's a green flag for me. It's a red flag. It's a red flag if you're like, no, man, don't need that therapist. I'm just like, okay, this is another one. He wants me to be his therapist. I'm done. Bye.
That's a word to DJ Khaled. Another one.
Another one.
Because the thing is that I seen that golden quote the other day, and I'd have to send it you to innit, like where it says like our parents gave us a foundation for what for like a learning thing, but it's our job to now evolve and to not make the same mistakes of them and evolve into the next generation, basically. Like, and there's a lot of things that my parents gave me a beautiful life in it, but at the same time, there's things that I will never take into like a relationship or family because I know, like, Do you know what I mean? Like my family weren't the best communicators. I'll be real with you, innit? Like we just weren't in it. Do you know what I'm saying? So like that's something that I would want to. Like I feel like I'd be a bit of an idiot not to look at that and then evolve from that. So going into that, the therapy thing is like, what are you going to lose from it? Like give it a go. It's literally when you start saying to yourself, it's somebody impartial who doesn't know you, and also therapists are not there to be like, this is what I think you should do. That's not what they're there for. They're just there to listen to you and unlock, like Adam's saying, another side of your thing. So it's hugely beneficial.
And also another thing that we have to speak on about therapy is that I feel like some people feel like they don't feel like it's safe, safe space. They feel like, you know, if I say this, it feels like, you know, what if someone else hears it? I think that's a big connotation behind it. Like, what if it gets leaked out? Or I don't want to be vulnerable to someone else because what if they tell people something that I feel like shouldn't be shared? But like you said, it's a confidential space. Like legally, they're not allowed to, you know.
Unless like I got approached by someone. Well, I ended up a conversation with someone a few years ago someone's parent that I know that ended up was a therapist, and they were like, "Oh, you can do some sessions." I was thinking, "No, I don't want someone that I know. I definitely want someone that I don't know." Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
Big up the people in the building. There's 42 people in the building. You guys, there's 29 of you guys on Twitter. Come on, you guys. Come on over to YouTube and like the video. Take a jolly old trip from Twitter to YouTube and like the video. But yeah, big up you guys, man. If you guys can head over to YouTube, if you haven't already, Rhino NGTV, go over to the YouTube channel and like the video. And 13 of you on YouTube now. So one of you probably just did that. Appreciate that. Like the video and leave a comment. We're closing out. This is the last topic. KEEDZ, what was you saying?
No, I was gonna say I think it's really good. Like for instance, how Liam was saying that he looked at his parents' relationship or his upbringing, and I think that is important to do for us to be real with like our family dynamic and what's happened before us, and not, you know, be in denial or be delusional and be like, oh my God, my parents are so happy. Like actually look at the reality of it and do better. Like improve on that. See where, okay, maybe mum could have been happier or dad could have done better communicating, or is this the ideal situation? Like, and I think sometimes we don't want to face that because maybe we want this whole image of this perfect family, this happy life, but it's better to be real because then you can build on that.
Yeah, 100%. And that's what I'm saying.
It's emotional intelligence.
Yeah. You need to look back at things and
you know what I mean?
See where people went wrong and try to do better.
I'm bigging myself up, but I'm just saying that like it's looking at a situation and being like it's like it reminds me of that thing. What's that movie goes? Do you have the capacity? Do you know what I mean? It's like capacity to look at something and then think 5, 10, 15, 20 years down the line, what do I need to do to change that?
To avoid that,
and that's kind of what it looks like to me. Do you know what I mean? Like my parents were married for over 20 years, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? So like they've done a good run in it, but like ultimately there were some fundamental things there that weren't right. And that's usually the case when people don't go to full length in it. So it's like I need to be consciously enough and aware enough to evolve, to communicate, to just be open to change and to evolve with the person that I'm going to be with. Do you know what I mean? Like do you know what I mean? God willing in the future. So it's that's just the way I think anyway. But
no, 100%. And for those that are not fortunate to think like that, sometimes people are trapped in a situation where maybe to them they just feel like it's normality, and maybe life's meant to be like these things are not meant to last and whatever. That's when you then have to kind of maybe share your opinion with somebody else to see what their perspective is, because eventually you'll find some way to work it out. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like you just have to look at things in life and learn from people's mistakes. You know, obviously the goal of marriage is for it to be till death do you part. So if you look at, for example, like Leon, his parents' situation, and he saw that at some point it broke down, he's now looking at, okay, you know what? Let me look at the factors as to why it broke down, so that when I get to myself in that situation, I can try and avoid that.
Exactly.
And not to say that he's going to have a perfect run. We pray he does, but I'm just saying you never know. Life always has its hurdles and obstacles, but at least you reduce the chances of falling kind of privy to the petty stuff that you could have seen a mile, a mile away. You know, like we always talk about the uncomfortable drive that we have as Man United fans, and we feel like every football game is an uncomfortable journey. and we're not happy that our manager doesn't see the bump on the road and swerve the bump, or you know what I mean. We told him, bro, there was a bump down the road. Homeboy just started speeding up and just flew the bump, and then man hit my head on the ceiling of the car. And I said, bro, I told you that the bump was coming, bro. Why didn't you just turn into the other lane? But homeboy
this is
didn't
perfect, Rhino, because the club's hopefully
changing.
changing. So now we're trying to evolve.
You know what I mean?
To the fact, yeah,
exactly. Yeah, you see what I did there. You get me? And look, Rory's saying it as well. He said, take the positives of every situation we go through in life. 100%, Rory. Trust me, man. 100%. It depends where you're coming from, guys. From inner city estates tend to carry a sense of pride. 100%. Going to therapy is a no-no. But that can change. And that's what we want to change. Same way people say men cry and then certain things is weak. You get me? Bruv, trust me. When you go to a funeral and you lose your loved one, you are going to cry. Does that mean you're weak? Because you know what I mean? So look at it like that. Don't think there's a standard as to what you can cry for.
It's also about finding people.
You have to let that emotion out.
Let's just say somebody like yourself, Ryan, who maybe come from that, but then has evolved into the person you are today. It's about finding them examples that you relate to where you're from, but have actually evolved. Yeah. And it's the same with life. We relate this back to the music industry.
Yeah.
There are men still rapping on the block and putting out things. And then there's other guys that have evolved. Diversified themselves to become into a business space, and then the business side. Do you know what I mean? I see it all the time in my industry. I see people that come from nothing in boxing and combat, and some of the smartest minds, like especially like black people in my industry, you have to maneuver a certain way through this industry. Like you're not going to get the same privilege, but we ain't going to cry about it. We're just looking at how we evolved. Do you know what I'm saying? Like who we've got in our network book and how we're going to, do you know what I mean, get there. Because for us within boxing, let's just say representation for, I don't know, black people or people not Caucasian. I'm not saying that, do you know what I mean? It's hard for everybody. I'm saying that it's not represented massively within the promoter and manager market. It's just not. Do you know what I mean? Maybe in America, there's loads of promoters like, what's his name? Don King and ripped everyone off. But what's his name? Leonard Ellaby and is that right? The Mayweather guys and a few of that, But like in the UK, it's like we're almost doing what the music scene did when it broke through. Because now people are literally bypassing the system and getting like going viral overnight and changing their life in it without having to work their way through the system in it. So it's a similar thing. So I think people need to, going back to the point, I think people need to find examples of people who've maybe come from where they've come if they're from that scenario, and people that have evolved, and then speak to those people, because you'll get a completely different perspective from somebody that grew up and had the life that you had. Yeah,
no, perfect. Yeah. 45 people in the building. You lot smash the likes. If you're on YouTube and you haven't liked the video, please like the video. If you're watching this on the replay, please like the video and please leave a comment down below.
Have you read Adam's thing? Sorry, have you read Adam's thing? That is bang on.
Yeah, he just put that through. I'm going to get to it still. Those of you, there's 30 of you guys on Twitter, please head over to the YouTube page and smash the likes. And if you're watching this on the replay, smash the likes, leave a comment down below. Adam says, that's a funny paradox about vulnerability. The moment you make yourself vulnerable, you remove the vulnerability. As soon as you're vulnerable, you aren't anymore. 100%. 100%, man. Listen, these are very, very valuable gems, and I hope, we can all take this. Everyone that's listening to this, those that are watching on the replay, take it in. Listen to what we're saying, because you'd be surprised that you're going through something in your life and something here can just change the direction, Trust me. So don't worry. And I think what I want to end it on is be yourself. Don't worry about everybody else. Do what you're comfortable with. If your brethren thinks something is weak, like for example, when big up Rory, when he was saying that, I think it was Rory. Sorry, I'm no preacher here, but I found religion has played a big part. Okay, he's bigging up religion. Someone made a comment saying, it was Rory. It's that certain areas you grow in, therapy is a no-no. We need to break out of that. Forget where you're from. If you have to do it on the low, whatever, do it for yourself. And then you can be that person that can change the narrative. As long as you're the one person that went to therapy in that area that no one else goes to, then you can start spreading and saying, I went to it. And then you never know, you might change the narrative a year down the line. That narrative in that area might not even not exist no more.
Do you know what? It will give you the confidence to move in your own lane as well. Because you're stepping away from what everyone else is doing. It will give you that confidence to kind of be like, okay, cool, these man. Oh, so now I understand their mindset's a bit different to these lot. Do you know what I mean? And start to unlock that. Do you get what I'm coming from?
Yeah. That's it. I think also social media plays a big part. Like this whole red pill, blue pill community, if you keep on watching these things that talk about certain women who, you know, they're not nurturing, they only want men for money, all of these type of things, and then you watch things about men which are very toxic, you're feeding into that. But if you follow things which are uplifting women, uplifting men, bringing, you know, having the conversations that are not lit or clickbait, the actual holistic, wholesome conversations, then you'll start to change your mind and it will be more geared towards that. But if you keep on following toxicity, that's what you're going to bring. That's the type of girls you're going to draw. And that's the type of way that you're going to see the world. I don't see the world like that personally because I don't follow that stuff. So I'm not subjected to those things. I know it exists, but that exists outside of my world because I'm not feeding into that.
Facts.
That's 100%. Why like people who like religiously praise like Tate and stuff, and like obviously look, some of what Tate says is real. It's just the way he says it that pisses people off. But at the same time, it's like some people I know religiously everything is like Tate, and it's like, do you want to be him? Are you sure you want to be that person? Do you want to evolve into that? Because like that, if you consume enough of it, then you'll, do you know what I'm saying? Like be like one of the biggest things that has stuck with me in the last couple of years is my local boxing gym. Shout out Clifton Mitchell, who runs that. Yeah, big player in the boxing game. So he owns a gym with 150 people in it locally where I'm in the Midlands. But he runs one of the biggest security companies in the UK as well. So as a black business entrepreneur, he's doing things in it. But he always says to everybody in the gym, his mum said to him before she passed, if you want to be different, be yourself. And that will always stay with me. Like literally, that's a big quote. So
no, that's a perfect way to end it. Still saying he's got the munchies. That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like I've just always been a person that's going to be myself. Like, I just don't care what people think. Yes, you take things with a pinch of salt because we're always learning and we don't know everything. But in terms of the core of what I believe in, it's just always going to be there. And I feel like once you learn yourself and you be yourself, no one can take that away from you. And don't let your area define you, your character, you know, because I grew up in an area that's got the most negative connotations with it, you know, South London. You get me? Like, so you feel me? Like, it's crazy because KEEDZ been down there. KEEDZ originally was from North, and like when she's coming down the area and seeing something, she's like, raw, like, and that's what I grew up in.
Gunshots getting let off, and then man, like, no, it's calm, it's normal. They're just waiting. I'm like, what's going on?
Downtown Kingston, like that, crazy.
You feel me? So just don't let your area define you, man. You feel me? There's so many big people that have done massive things and they've come out of it and changed that narrative, you know. So it's mad. We'll talk about. I think we should definitely do another part to this. I always say doing another part because the conversation lasts forever and you always want to talk about something. But I just feel like I was gonna say something. I feel like when you let an area that's what I was gonna say. So I remember listening on TalkSport, and then people the way I don't always agree with everything they say, but I remember they were just talking about like certain bro, what's the word I'm looking for? Like what's it called when you judge something by the way it looks? So you judge someone because of the way they look, like because they're wearing a hoodie. It's there, like you judge them. What's the word I'm looking for?
Preconceived opinion or preconceived thinking.
Not that. It's not even that deep. Not even not that strong. Stereotype. That's it. Simple words. Sometimes I lose my words, but yeah, stereotypes.
Simple.
Yeah, simple. So like, there's sometimes a stereotype of look, me, I got my hood on. Someone might watch that and say, why has he got his hood on? What's like, you know what I mean, or wearing a tracksuit or whatever. Like, I like to break stereotypes, and I feel like within reason I understand why there's a stereotype of things, but I feel like once people hear what comes out your mouth rather than what you look like, it just changes everything. You feel me? Let someone speak first before you judge them. You get me? Don't just think straight away because he's wearing this or she's wearing that. No. She must be this or he must be that. You don't know. You feel me? So let's break the stereotypes. Let's be ourselves, people, and let's talk to people. If we need it, let's talk. Don't be afraid. You feel me? Like, don't let your area define your ceiling of where you go in life. Because maybe everyone else you saw couldn't really make it. You could be the one to make it. Facts, bro. And bros and sisters. You feel me? So yeah, man, but we're going to end it there, man. There's 43 people still in the building. Please, those of you still on Twitter, go over to Rhino MGTV and YouTube, smash the likes. One of you has been constantly watching on Twitch as well. So you, whoever you are, big up yourself. Please go over to YouTube, smash the like. and leave a comment as well. Big up Rory in the chat. David says,
Big
if
up
you consume... I tried to skip that. If you consume toxic content every day all the time, that's what you're going to attract. Yeah. Big up Adam as well, dropping loads of gems here as well. Man like Andy saying Manchester United with a Liverpool badge. Big up yourself. But yeah, big up all you guys in the chat, man. David, your goat, Temi. Who else is in here? FNR, Higher KY, Young Wizard, Ramo. You know, one day there's going to be too many comments to read out, but I like to still big up. Oh, I even forgot to send Danny the link. Big up Danny as well.
Oh no!
I forgot as well.
You're watching to Danny, bro.
My WhatsApp is closed.
You're violating Danny, man.
My WhatsApp is closed, man. My WhatsApp is closed on my computer.
We missed you,
big
man.
up Danny.
Come through again.
Yeah, no, I'll definitely get him on, man. I just got caught in because I'm trying to, I was just too in focus. I just forgot, man. Once I send the link sometimes and my WhatsApp's not open on the computer, I just forget. But big up Danny, that's bro, man. I'll definitely get him. And I'm probably even going to get him onto more shows during the week anyway, because he likes to talk football as well. Big up Mustafa as well. Big up George. Yeah, man. And yeah, obviously KEEDZ and Leon as well. Big up, man. I appreciate you guys. You're going to see these guys anytime they're free on Sunday. They'll be here. We'll be here. We'll be back next week, Sunday. So make sure you lot smash the likes. I appreciate each and every one of you. I love the fact that this Sunday show is even growing. The weekly shows are growing as well. So onwards and upwards, man. If you have any suggestions for what topics you want us to speak about, please do let us know. We'll definitely talk about it. If you have any criticisms, if you have anything, I want to hear everything. So let me know, man. 45 people in the building. Those last few of you that are still on YouTube, on Twitter, sorry, please head over to the YouTube channel, like the video. I keep saying it throughout the show because the more likes on the video, the more that the channel and the videos will get recommended to other people, the more people that will join this chat, the more that this channel will grow. So likes are very important. So you're going to hear me saying it every 10 minutes or every 5 minutes. So those of you that haven't, please head over to YouTube, Rhino TV, smash the likes. Make sure you check out the other shows during the week. And yeah, man, we are out, people, man. It's all love. It's all blessed. And as always, I always say, subscribe, put post notifications on, and tell a friend to tell a friend. We are out, people.
Gone now.
But that ain't my story. Life won't say sorry.